Whenever you're ready, please.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Ms. Sevier?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You are the spouse of Terrence Berg, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Long time marriage?
Yes, 28 years.
Very nice. And you reside over on Oak Avenue?
Oak Drive.
Oak Drive.
Right.
In the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have some special relationship to that, besides being a resident there? Any special position there in the neighborhood?
Position?
Well, are you
Yeah.
the block captain?
No longer. I have been.
Okay. And is that for social purposes, or is that for security purposes, or what? Or combination?
Community purposes.
Okay. Including security?
Sure.
Has there been some
You know-
problems there?
Yes.
Okay. On the evening in question, your husband escorted your dinner guest out to the back to her car,
Yes.
and that could have been for both social and security reasons.
That morning, my husband had slipped taking the garbage cans out because of the few patches of ice, and being a good friend, Patty Montgomery had told me she had slipped earlier in the week. So is Slippery, and that's the primary reason I asked him to walk her to her car, just for
Okay.
safety from falling.
Okay. Although that may have been the primary purpose, making sure that getting back and forth, getting to her vehicle and seeing her off also was of security? Some portion of it?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any regular routine with regard to guests coming and going from your house, seeing them to their car for security purposes?
No, I don't have a regular routine. I
Okay.
might watch someone go to their car.
That's what I was going to ask
Okay.
next. If Mr. Berg was to escort someone out, would you ever stand at the door to watch that he got safely back and forth?
Maybe I've done that. It's not a
Okay.
routine.
Okay, you didn't do that on the evening in
No.
question. Okay, thank you. I know that your guest came over, and we've heard the purpose, and come around 9 o'clock, she exited. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And during the course of that visit, there were activities going on with regard to tutoring, working with your son?
Yes.
Okay. And there was also dinner?
Yes.
And in your recollection, was there any adult beverages consumed or served either for dinner or after dinner or before dinner?
No.
Okay, thank you. When this event happened, you were in the house, were you not?
Yes.
You were not at the front part of the house. You were back more at the side part of the house in the kitchen. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And your husband went outside. Were you conscious of that?
Yes.
Okay. You did not stand at the door to say goodbye to your guest?
I did not stand at the door.
Okay. She departed probably saying goodbye in the kitchen area.
Probably.
Yes. And then you expected your husband to walk her out and come back in. Is that correct?
Correct.
And we know that he didn't do that because he was the victim of a crime.
Correct.
Correct. And would you agree that at this point in time that you cannot positively identify who it was that the perpetrators of the crime against your husband was or were? Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Although you did come out and you did see these persons, did you not?
I saw them from behind.
You did see these persons, did you not?
Yes.
Okay. As a matter of fact, from what I've heard your testimony, you saw them in a running fashion.
Yes.
And they were moving rather quickly to a vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. And at some point in time, you made observation. Well, first of all, you made a comment, did you not?
Yes.
You didn't make that comment to them because you knew who they were, did you?
No.
You didn't make a comment such as you did because you either knew their mother or father or the relationship of their mother with
That's argumentative. Let's move on.
All right, Judge. You did make and have made comment with regard to which side of the vehicle persons got into that car, having made observations, did you not?
Yes.
And that came into your memory back on the day in question?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And even thereafter, you were able to articulate that and state that in terms of your observations in judging the identification of people in a lineup, did you not?
Yes.
Okay. And there was a vehicle apparently waiting outside of your home.
Well, it was a neighbor's house. There was a vehicle parked in front.
You have no idea what the nature or make or model of the vehicle is, do you?
No.
But you did make observations as to the persons entering that vehicle.
Yes.
Would you agree with me that you've said in the past, or does it refresh your recollection that you said that one of the persons went to the passenger side of the vehicle and got in the front seat?
I said that the two gentlemen ran towards the car, one on the passenger side and one on the driver's side.
Okay. Did you see those doors open up?
I can't recall.
Okay. All right. But you did mention the passenger side of the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That would be the non-driver side.
Yes.
And also the driver's side, which would be where the steering wheel would be.
Right.
And are you saying that they got into the front seat of the vehicle?
I
object. That calls for speculation.
Response?
I don't think it calls for speculation. I'm talking about her memory and asking her if that's what she saw.
I'm going to sustain the objection to the form of the question. You want to
Okay.
rephrase it?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Did you see the person get into the front seat of the car?
I can't say I saw it. I assumed it I saw them approaching the car within inches of the car.
And did you see doors open?
I think I did.
Okay. And are you saying that the front doors open, one to the driver's side and one to the passenger side?
Yes.
Now, we've heard the very emotional 911 police call,
Mm-hmm.
and thereafter you went to the hospital, did you not?
Yes.
Okay. And you told us about the course of services that were rendered to your husband at the hospital.
Yes.
Were you at any time asked to give identification or the like to any law enforcement officer at the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, and did you do that?
Yes.
And who did you give that to, if you can recall?
I can't recall.
You know the difference between FBI agents and federal agents, do you not?
I do.
Okay. And you also knew that there were Detroit officers there in uniform, did you not?
Yes.
Okay. Who did you give this information to in terms of federal and or Detroit police?
I don't know. It was someone not in a police uniform.
Okay, all right. And did it appear to you that they may have been writing such down? Did you presume that?
They were taking notes.
Okay. And was that while your husband was being considered for his stability in terms of his medical condition?
He was in the room. There were doctors in the room when this happened.
I see. All right. And then, of course, sometime afterwards, you were asked to come to some what we refer to as live lineups.
Correct.
That's where you actually see persons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Had you ever been given what we sometimes call a six-pack photo lineup? In other words, on a sheet of paper, 6 photographs of persons?
No, I had not.
Okay, so all the lineups that you did see were what we would call, and now I've described to as live lineups.
Yes.
And did you go to the Hamtramck facility, I guess now that we know it as the Dickerson facility, for the purpose of an identification?
Yes.
Do you recall the day of June the 16th, 2015?
Yes.
Okay. You know that was a date in which there was a lineup that you participated in as a witness?
I know it from the record. I don't remember the exact date.
All right. The only reason I would like to have you try and remember that exact date is because I want to ask you whether or not there was one live lineup that you participated in before that date.
I know I participated in 3 different lineups. Well, I should say I always accompanied my husband, but I think on one of them they did not ask my opinion.
Okay. Was that at the same facility?
No, we went to 3 different facilities.
Okay. All right. On June the 16th, 2015, was that the first lineup?
No.
Okay. Where was the first lineup at?
I think the Mound facility.
All right. And were those persons dressed in an orange outfit?
Don't remember.
Okay. When you went to, for example, the Dickerson facility, do you recall that event?
Yes.
Okay. And at that particular time, that was the second, correct? Second event?
I would need to be reminded. Right now I cannot tell you if that was the second event.
Okay. At any point in time, based upon your recollection of the first live lineup, did you sign or pick anyone out?
My identification was looking at body build.
Yes.
And I might have said, if the individual is in this lineup, he had the build like so-and-so.
Okay. And you realize that those are not exact terms, do you not?
Right.
Right. They are inexact terms as opposed to I am positive that is the person.
Correct.
You see the difference.
Yes.
And at no time did you ever say, I have and do identify positively one or both of the identities of the persons that were seen running from your property to the car on the evening in question.
Correct.
And any other thank you. Any other lineups that you recall exactly where you went to?
We came to a lineup close by here.
Right.
Detroit.
One of the buildings here at the county jail
Yes.
facility.
Yes.
And were you a witness?
No.
You just accompanied Mr. Berg, Judge Berg,
Yes.
your husband?
Yes.
Okay. And did you go into where he was witnessing someone?
We got here and they said that they weren't going to have it after all.
I see.
Something changed.
Some person refused to participate?
That's what we were told.
Okay. And at any time did you ever
I think that's you, Mr. McWilliams.
It is?
I think the microphone, where your foot is, I think you may be getting the...
All right.
Okay?
Okay, Judge, thank you.
All right.
At any point in time, did you ever point to and say positively that this gentleman here, Mr. Kevin Smith, was the person, one of which you saw running across into the vehicle in question on the night in question?
No.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
You would, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
All right. Mr. Murray.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Any questions by the jurors? There is? Or no? No? Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. You can step down.
Thank you.
You can remain in the courtroom or leave, whatever your preference is. Okay?
I believe I left to do this yesterday, but the 507 and 508 were identified by Judge Burke. I'm told I didn't move to admit them. I will so move at this time. They are photographs.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Judge and take him to the vehicle?
It was me, my partner, and two other officers that were assigned to the 10th precinct who arrived as well.
Where in the vehicle do you place the judge?
In the back seat.
What happens next?
I transported him to the hospital, to Sinai Grace Hospital, and there were staff waiting in the emergency entrance.
Did you have an opportunity at that point or prior to putting the judge in the vehicle to talk to the judge about what had happened?
Okay, prior to putting him to the vehicle, I spoke to the judge and also spoke to his wife and asked for a statement of what happened.
Like a written statement or just
It's verbal.
A verbal statement?
Yes.
And what did the judge tell you had occurred?
He told me that he just stepped outside to take the trash out to the side of the house. His house located on the corner house. He took the trash out and he returned to the front porch. That's when he's approached by two unidentified black males. And one of the males demanded entry into his home. The judge refused entry, and at that time, one of the black males produced a handgun and shot him in his leg before fleeing on foot.
Did he give you any other additional information?
He told me he didn't recognize the two individuals.
Did you do anything with that information?
Me and my partner, I can't remember which one of us did, but we advised dispatch of the description of the offenders, also the vehicle and direction of travel that they escaped.
Did you see any individuals there that matched that description when you arrived?
At the scene, no.
What did you hear from his wife about what had occurred?
His wife, she stated that she was inside the home when she heard the gunshot. Then she heard her husband outside screaming for help. She came outside onto the front porch, and she observed two black males wearing dark clothing, slim build, running southbound across Clarita into a parked dark older model vehicle that was parked in front of the southwest corner house on Oak Drive.
What was her demeanor like at the time?
She was highly upset and concerned for her husband.
Did you eventually take the judge to the hospital and arrive at the hospital?
Yes.
No other questions.
Mr. McWilliams.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, officer.
Good morning, Counselor.
Assigned to the 12th precinct?
At the time of the incident, yes.
Okay, thank you. And you were one of the first responders?
The first vehicle, yes. First
Okay,
responder.
thank you. And at any point in time, besides what you've told us about gathering information, which is also known as an investigation, did you have any other part in this particular case?
Besides what I testified to, no.
Okay. Did any of your investigation lead to the identity of a person by the name of Kevin Smith?
I have no idea what happened with the information. Once I put it out there and made my report, that information was Investigators handle the rest of the case.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Bone, anything else?
Nothing else.
Any questions by the jurors? Officer Beasley, thank you. You may be excused, sir.
Thank you.
Another witness?
Judge, at this time the people would call Police Officer Adam Langford.
All right.
Right here. Phone number. Right here, sir. Adam Langford. Thank you,
All
sir.
right, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give today in these proceedings will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat.
Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you pull that closer towards you? Thank
A lot
you.
closer. There you go. There we go.
Good morning.
Can you tell us your name?
Officer Adam Langford.
You said you're a police officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you a police officer for?
Currently employed with the city of Oak Park
How long have you been an Oak Park police officer?
since September 2015.
And where were you working back on, were you a police officer back in March of 2015?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been a police officer in total?
Since November 2013.
Where were you working back on March 5th of 2015?
The city of Detroit,
Which precinct?
12th precinct.
Did you have a partner at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was your partner?
Officer Beasley.
Reginald Beasley?
Yes, ma'am.
And back on March 5th of 2015, around 9:17 p.m., were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall that date and approximate time?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to the location 18905 Oak Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your reason in going to that location?
We were dispatched for a shooting, and we made the location, and
Did you have any additional information other than that it was a shooting at the time?
no, ma'am.
Did you go to that location?
Yes, ma'am.
Who did you go there with?
Officer Beasley, my partner.
And when you arrived there, were there any other police officers?
No, ma'am.
What did you observe?
There was a male laying on the porch with two women around him.
Did you come to learn who those people were?
Yes, ma'am.
Who?
We later found out that by one of the women who was standing on the porch, who was later identified as the wife of the male laying on the porch, that he was Judge Terrence Burke.
Now, when you first arrived, can you tell me what you see other than the two women and the male you said on the porch?
There was ice. It was very slippery outside, very icy. The weather conditions were just very slippery.
Can you describe what you see as far as how the judge looked?
He was in a lot of pain. He was very upset and in a lot of pain.
Could you tell anything about if there were any injuries to his body?
His pant leg was torn. I didn't see the wound right away, but there was a little bit of blood on the pants, on the right pant leg.
What do you do then?
I believe my partner asked for an ETA from dispatch for the ambulance.
What was his reason in doing that, if you know?
It was some time before the ambulance had arrived, and I know we were trying to get them there right away because we didn't know how bad the injury was.
So what happens then?
We didn't really get a response back from dispatch right away, and I believe the other woman identified herself as a doctor, and she stated that due to the cold weather conditions and the wound, he could possibly go into shock, so we needed to get him to the hospital.
And did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe that?
My partner and I placed him into the back of our scout car and drove him to Sinai Grace Hospital.
And did you arrive at Sinai Grace Hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you bring the judge inside, or did they come out to greet you, or what had happened?
I believe that we set up with dispatch to have them meet us outside. I don't recall exactly, but I believe that's what happened.
Did you ever get a description from the judge as far as the perpetrator or perpetrators of this crime?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me that?
There were two black males, slim build. I believe he said 18 to 20.
Do you recall the race of those individuals?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Black males.
And did the judge ever tell you whether these individuals had any facial hair or anything distinguishing about them?
I believe he said one of them had some facial hair. I don't recall correctly, but I believe it was some facial hair.
Would looking at your report refresh your recollection as to the specific description given to you by Judge Berg?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Officer Langford, what is that I'm handing to you?
This is my report.
Okay. Is it the report that you drafted with regards to this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Could you look at that report and tell me if your recollection is refreshed as to the specific description that was given to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what the description was?
It was black males, 18 to 20, facial hair, and dark clothing.
No other questions.
Mr. McWilliams.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Morning, Officer.
Good morning.
Sir, in this matter, you've described what your essential observations and investigation was. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Did your investigation go any farther than what it is you've told us?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there any of your investigation which led to anything to do with a person by the name of Kevin Smith?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Phone, anything?
Nothing else. Thank you.
Questions by the jurors? All right. Thank you, Officer Beasley. You can step down. You may be excused, sir.
Our next one is Ms. Procho.
Yep. Members of the jury, I've been informed that there's kind of a logistical issue with regards to the next witness who is going to be here to testify. So what I'm going to do, rather than just have you wait at this point, I'm going to send you to lunch early and ask that you be back at 20 minutes to 1. That's an hour and 5 minutes from now, and then our witness will be here. We'll be able to go forward and go the rest of the afternoon. Remember, it's important to keep an open mind and don't make any decision about this case until you've heard everything. Leave your notebooks on your chair. Have a nice lunch. We'll see you back here. Remember, don't wait outside the hall. Come right back in. Go right into the jury room. We'll see you at 20 minutes to 1.
All rise. No, you guys can head out. Okay. Sure.
Thank you, though.
Please come with me.